Welcome to episode 202 of the No Clue Podcast. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Tyler.
Mike.
Oh, man. Trade deadline.
Crazy.
Trade deadline 23. A lot has happened since our last pod, and we purposefully waited a day for the trade deadline to end, some of that smoke to clear.
Good
And
thing we did that.
good thing we did, because this is one of the craziest trade deadlines, definitely of my lifetime. So let's start, man. Obviously, the biggest one, Kevin Durant, is now on the Phoenix Suns. This has been brewing since the summer when Durant first asked for a trade. They tried to get DeAndre Ayton into the deal, didn't work out. And I kind of think, oh, go ahead.
Homecoming for TJ Warren, you forgot to mention.
Yeah, TJ Warren coming back to the Suns in exchange for Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, and is this 5 picks or 6 picks? 5 picks?
5. Well, 4 picks and a pick swap.
4 picks and a swap. Okay. So Mikal Bridges is now Brooklyn Net. Cam Johnson is now Brooklyn Net. Jake Crowder has since been moved to the Milwaukee Bucks,
Which we'll talk about that.
which we'll talk about. Yeah. So Durant, TJ Warren back on the Suns. What do you think?
I mean, that starting lineup is scary.
Is TJ Warren in the starting lineup for you?
I think so.
Or Torrey Craig?
Honestly, either one I wouldn't really make a massive difference to me.
Yeah, because the starting four is crazy.
Right. And Craig, I mean, they're a little different, though. I feel like depending on the series, you might start Craig for a matchup, and then maybe if you need a little more spacing, Warren might play a little bit more. But
yeah, probably Durant at the 4.
bro, KD gets to play within a top 5 center.
Yeah.
That pisses me off.
A top 5 point guard ever, top 5 center in the league.
And but best shooting guard in the league, in quotes.
Yeah, a top 10 scorer in the league, I'll say.
Yeah.
Top 10. Yeah, man. I mean, their bench is really bad. Their depth is really, really, really bad. Their depth was bad before this trade. So now it's really bad. But it's very, very interesting. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where I have the Suns now, though. Like, a lot of people are saying the Suns are obviously the favorites. They move way up in the ranks. And for me personally, as a resident Durant hater, for anyone who's listened to the podcast before, Durant is not a tender maker, at least at this point in his career, because he goes to a lot of good teams and they don't do anything. So it's different when you have guys who go to a new team, and every time they go to a new team, the team goes to the finals. Like, this is like a little bit extreme, but Jay Crowder is as much of a contender maker as Durant is. Jay Crowder goes further into the playoffs every team he goes to than Durant does, other than the Warriors. So
yeah, I just feel like KD has proven that he's not as impactful as people think.
Yeah, or at least as he thinks.
Like skill wise, there's no doubt he's a top 3 to 5 player.
Yeah, but yeah, no argument.
His impact is not what it was when he was an MVP.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, even then, his team is better than this team. So,
and to me, like, this is such a crazy mix because the coach has turmoil with a lot of the players that are still there.
Yeah.
The most important player that's still there.
The best relationship the coach had were the 2 players that got shipped off.
Exactly. I mean, Bridges was probably their best player this season.
Yeah.
start to finish. He's played all the games. He's been one of their probably their best scorer. Like he looks like he's gotten significantly better.
He's defensive player of the year candidate.
Yeah, I mean, but you look at this roster, like KD's coming in hurt. TJ Warren just took 2 years to heal an ankle.
And
Uh
I haven't seen him play like consecutive games this season. Like not a
no.
lot in a row.
No, I just started seeing him like at least some occasionally on the court
Yeah,
since the fucking bubble essentially.
right.
Booker's just coming off an injury.
He didn't even play last night because he was hurt still.
And CP doesn't look good. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Like so to me, this like a year or two ago, I would have been like, whoa, like Denver beat like you got a problem now.
Hmm.
But now with no depth, you're already not healthy midway through the season. I'm not gonna bank on the fact that you're gonna get healthier.
Yeah.
So to me, to get excited about this team right away, especially with to kind of top it off with what we've just seen from Durant for 3 years in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look impressive to me.
Yeah, I agree. And at this team's peak, like at their highest highs, they'll be beating teams by 60 probably. Yeah, sure. It'll probably happen a few times, but
Yeah.
when it comes to playoffs, I don't. I hate
I don't
to.
trust them to advance. I just don't.
I hate to be negative about CP, but we know his playoff first that he has. Booker is someone who will play great until the playoffs. And Durant, this team isn't built for Durant to be the one man show that he is a lot of times in the playoffs to win. This isn't like that kind of team because they don't really have a lot of depth. They don't have a lot of defenders. They don't have a lot of spot up shooters. They just faded the three best spot up shooters other than
Literally.
Booker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't have a lot of spot up shooting. So it's not a team that spreads the floor really for Durant that in the playoffs Durant is accustomed to exploiting other teams with. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to take a lot of coaching. Monty has to be on his game for this because does Aiton still really not get involved or does he get less involved at this
But
point
to me now your front court should dominate.
with Durant as the four?
Yeah, because now
Yeah.
Aiton is getting even easier looks. And now, like, normally I'd be scared because if Aiton gets in foul trouble, kind of where do you go in the
Mhm.
rotation? But you kept most of the bigs that you just don't play.
Yeah, they kept Biombo. They traded Saric for Darius Basley.
That's a lateral move.
Yeah, they're
They're
just
basically
random
the
moves,
same
but
player. Baisley's a little more of a shooter, a little less physical.
and
But
younger.
yeah, I just like now you have a solid front court rotation, and yet it's like Aiton or nothing.
Hmm.
So to me, again, to your point, Monty Williams, like this shouldn't be that much of a challenge.
It shouldn't.
But I
It
feel like
shouldn't.
somebody's gonna make it a challenge on this roster.
I think it's going to be a challenge. I think it's going to be a challenge on paper. It shouldn't be, but it's going to be a challenge. I think.
I just visualize like KD and Devin Booker are out there, and one of them most likely has the basketball. And
Mhm.
what is Chris Paul doing?
Mm,
You
I
know what
don't
I mean?
know.
Like I don't
Yeah.
visualize it. I can see it with Harden and CP, or like with one star player and CP kind of off spacing the floor. With two elite scorers, I really don't kind of see where CP fits.
That's a good point.
So
Yeah.
I wonder how they put it together.
Yeah. Me too. It's going to be interesting. Um. Okay. So that's that. Last time we were talking about Kyrie's demanded trade, and we didn't mention the team that he actually ended up with, and that's Dallas. Uh, I guess because we really didn't think Dallas was going to be willing to trade, some of their major pieces for him, but they did. So
Their
Kyrie
most
and
important role player.
probably both their two most important role players. Kyrie and Markieff Morris are now Mavericks, and Spencer Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith are now Nets. Um, and that came with three picks, one first round, two second round picks. And Kyrie got to play his first game since our last podcast, which was pretty quick for a star. Usually stars don't play like right away. That was pretty quick for a star.
Yeah.
He played like the second game after the trade. Uh, what'd you think?
Um, I gotta be honest, man. He looked awesome.
Yeah.
He looked awesome, and I couldn't fathom he'd come in and play off the team.
Mm-hmm.
Like the buckets, the shots he was getting, the shots he was trying to get were a lot of the things that I could see him getting when Luka's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Luka couldn't make anything happen. I get a handoff and attack. I come off like I make cuts. I move without the ball, which I've seen him do. He's obviously been able to do that,
Yeah.
succeeding with LeBron.
Yeah.
But I thought he would come in, and honestly, I thought he would look to take over. I thought he'd look to put on a show, and he
Mm-hmm.
just played off the team all night, and they looked great. They moved the ball great, which again they've been able to do with Luka or without him.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Dallas impressed me.
Yeah, man, I agree. I think being off ball and really embracing basically what Luca does, which I don't know if this is Jason Kidd's doing or um, Carlisle's doing, but it's a very all right. I bring the ball up court, but as soon as I get past half court, now I'm playing the two guard kind of.
Yeah,
And Kyrie has flourished in that for a lot of his career. That's what he did with LeBron, basically. He brought it up court and gave it to LeBron. LeBron was point guard after Kyrie brought it up court most of the time. So now I think that it did look like they were just running the same offense that they would run with Luca, just with Kyrie out there. So now we get a chance to see what that looks like with Luca probably next week, right? I mean, he's
I
supposed to
think
come back
so.
before All-Star break.
Yeah,
So um, I'm excited for him, man. I'm excited to see it. I'm not necessarily excited for the team, but I'm definitely excited to see it because this is going to be fun to watch.
and
That's one thing you never.
that's what I like about this trade. Like Dallas kind of improved on their strength and got worse with a weakness.
Mm-hmm.
Like their defense got worse because they lost Finney Smith,
And
but at the
depth.
same time, their spacing is better, which is they're probably one of the better spacing teams in the league.
Mm, I'm not sure if their spacing got that much better because I think Finney Smith was a big part of their spacing, being able to play the four and be able to be
Yeah,
such a good corner shooter. But I'm getting Markeith helps if they play him.
they probably won't.
Markeith does the same thing, huh?
They probably won't.
Yeah, maybe.
Markeith
Josh Green's starting to hit
is
shots.
getting up there in age. Uh, but I like this move. Like it just makes Dallas more fun.
It does, yeah, it does.
It
It
kind of
definitely
just
makes him more nuclear, more volatile.
exactly. It reassures. Like we already knew this off of their playoff run last year, but it reassures that they could shoot anyone out of the gym,
Yeah, it does.
and now they could ISO anyone out of the gym.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's true.
I like it.
I like it too. I like it too. I'm excited to see it.
It's
Excited to
great.
see what they
Jason
do.
Kidd, like that trio of guards, Luca, Kyrie, and Kidd, like that's I like those three together.
I'm surprised Kid wasn't on Kyrie and Durant's radar for the Nets job. I guess because Kid already coached the Nets.
It's because they're idiots. Nash, Nash was their guy.
Oh, yeah. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe the
I'm with
organization
you.
and kid don't
I'm with
have a
you.
didn't
Jason
have
Kidd
a.
had already coached. He's a Hall of Fame point guard. He's honestly he's better, a little bit better of a player than Steve Nash was.
No, I meant that maybe the Nets organization and kid didn't have a good relationship
That could be true. Yeah,
after the
the incident. I
hit me
remember that.
incident. That was hilarious.
That
One of
was
my favorite
in
moments I've ever
hindsight.
watched
In
live.
hindsight, that was so funny.
All right. So of course, the team everyone has been waiting for to make a trade. Oh, we gotta talk about LeBron later too. The Lakers. The Lakers finally have cleared their roster of Russell Westbrook, Juan Toscano Anderson, Damian Jones, Patrick Beverly, and um, Thomas Bryant. Is that it? Is there more? I think that's it.
I think that's
Oh,
it.
yeah, that's it. Um, okay, so in exchange for Russell Westbrook, Juan Toscano Anderson, Damian Jones, they received D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt. The Timberwolves received Mike Conley, Nikhil Alexander Walker, and three picks. And I believe the Lakers sent a top four protected pick to the Jazz. So, Jazz, Lakers, Timberwolves, three-way trade. D'Angelo Russell to LA, Westbrook to the Jazz, who is expected to get bought out, and Mike Conley to the Timberwolves. Lakers also got Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt.
Dude, I gotta be
And
honest, before we deep dive the Lakers, is there more?
I was just gonna go ahead and say the other two trades that they made.
Oh, go ahead.
Thomas Bryant, Thomas Bryant to the Nuggets in exchange for Davon Reed and three second round picks. And then Patrick Beverly went to the Magic in exchange for Mo Bamba. So the Lakers got Mo Bamba, Davon Reed, D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt. What are you saying?
My first reaction is I feel bad for Russ because like at this time last year, it would have been like obviously Utah's buying him out, and I'm right, he's done.
Mm-hmm.
But bro, he did what I wanted. Like
They did what the team wanted too.
he
Yeah.
sacrificed, he took a lesser role, he thrived in a lesser role. He's played at a high level, he's playing under control much more. Like defensively, he really hasn't improved. But again, all those other positives, especially coming off the bench, have had such a good impact. And now it's the situation hasn't changed. Like, where does he fit now? Who's gonna bring him in? A young roster. Utah was the prime example.
Mm-hmm.
If Utah this quickly doesn't want him, I mean, where does he fit?
He plays point guard for Utah. Sexton?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's crazy. Thank you. And I
That's
trashed
crazy.
Russ for 82 straight games last year.
Yeah.
Like, he's come such a long way to me. He's proven so much.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna save him, really.
Yeah. I think that one unfortunate argument to that is that, well, he played this well and he did so well this year. And the Lakers showcased him so much and stuck with him and let him get as much time as he got in order to make him worth trading. Um, but it doesn't make sense if the Jazz don't want him. Like I could see that someone saying, "Oh yeah, well he needed to get his stock up so that they could even make a trade." But that only makes sense if the team that they traded him to wanted him. So it is it is pretty. It's really unfortunate. It's unfortunate for all these guys, to be honest. Everyone in this trade is kind of getting tossed away from the team that you thought they
I
added
mean,
value to.
Toscano Anderson just sucks. Like, you know, No
Yeah,
offense, but he's a guy, he's gonna get tossed away.
yeah, Damian Jones too, but Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt got caught in the Jazz rebuild and the worst fade of the decade, and we're playing really well for the Jazz, and the Jazz have been exceeding expectations, and they look like this scrappy team, and they both of them were big parts of that. And
Hmm.
then now the Jazz are showing, yeah, you were big parts, but we'd rather get a good pick instead. Because really, they get nothing. The Jazz really get nothing from this. Top four protected first round pick. That means they can't. It's not a top four pick. Anything after a top four pick, that's not great.
I know.
Damian Jones wants to Scott Anderson. Chances of them keeping them really slim. So they're gonna just get rid of three guys from the roster for Malik Beasley and Vanderbilt, who were filling it, especially Beasley. We've liked Beasley since he was on the Nuggets. We've been talking about him on the podcast every
He's
year.
been underrated for years.
Yes, absolutely. So that's pretty rough for them. Westbrook, I do think Westbrook still has value, especially based on how he played. I think he's gonna go look for a coach that he has confidence in and see what
It's
he can do.
unfortunate. It's unfortunate Scott Brooks is not employed right now.
He's employed. He's just an assistant.
Nah, that's not enough pull.
No, it's not. It's not. He's an assistant with Portland, I think.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, Scott Brooks, Billy Donovan. We mentioned off mic. We mentioned the Bulls possibility since their point guard is out for who knows when, if he's ever even going to play again. We don't know. So I can see that happening. Some other things we'll get into later, but let's talk about the Lakers. D'Angelo Russell, Beasley, and Vanderbilt for them. Bamba and Davon Reed. What do you think?
I mean, I like the fact that they got Bamba for Pat Bev.
I like that too.
Because I didn't really think. I mean, I couldn't really visualize like a solid role player that you could potentially fit into the rotation for Pat Bev.
Yeah.
But I think Bamba has a good chance to contribute and get some minutes.
Hmm.
Like Vanderbilt, I'm not really sure. He might not be in the rotation at all. He might work his way into it. Um,
Actually, see Vanderbilt being like the center when Anthony Davis is out there, like the two power forward thing that they do sometimes with Anthony Davis.
yeah,
Um, so Anthony Davis can take more jump shots. They have someone else that's really a forward. Anthony Davis guards the center, but he takes jump shots, and Vanderbilt would be the inside dunker guy. I could see that happening, but again, to your point, I don't know how long that they do that. Maybe for half a quarter a
I
game,
just, I mean, with them, I just can't see them playing as well as Bryant did,
and that's
who
the big thing. Bryant
you
played
gave up,
fantastic.
right? Like, so that's kind of weird to me. And Bryant and Schroeder were so key in the Lakers climbing out of purgatory that
Hmm.
it's shocking that they were willing to get to part ways.
I, I I think Bryant emerged himself as a quality starting big man. And I know he maybe not a championship starting big man. I mean, depending on what your other four players are, but yeah, I think he could start on a lot of NBA teams. The effort
Yeah.
he gives, the energy he has. So losing him is huge. Vanderbilt doesn't have that as much energy as Bryant. He has energy, but not that much.
Yeah.
So they definitely
The,
lost energy there.
the big problem for me is the two guys I haven't named.
Beasley and Russell.
I love both of them off the bench, but
Mm.
not together. And I also don't want either of them starting. I honestly think if they start deloading, it'll be a disaster.
I think we disagree on this because I think reloading is perfect. I
In
think he's
what
perfect starting
way?
for them. my thing with LeBron, I've said this for many years on the podcast, is that he cannot play with a true point guard. It just doesn't work because he's such a ball handler, such a ball distributor, such a ball, um, you know, he has the ball dominant player. Whoever starts at the point with him has to be able to play shooting guard, or has to be able to spot up, or has to be able to just score, and that's it. And when they're necessary, or be invincible a lot of times even. And I think D'Angelo Russell is that. I think he gives him the all right, you're out here to score. You're not really out here to distribute the ball. You're not really out here to manage the tempo of the game. It's all gonna be on LeBron's shoulders anyway. We just need someone that plays point that, can guard point guards to an extent. We need someone that can bring the ball up court until LeBron gets open. And then we just need you to hit some shots. And I think that that's what D'Angelo Russell does well. And he's a good enough passer in transition. And when he does have the chance to create shots for other people, I think he's perfect for them.
I mean, I'm almost the total opposite. Dude, hold
The
up.
reason why
Let
I say
me
that is because everything he needed to do for Minnesota, he couldn't do because he was doing what I think the Lakers needed from him.
but he's a ball dominant player.
Mm,
Bro, in the last 4 years of the Golden State Warriors, who's the one borderline all-star who's looked trash, who's looked like he doesn't fit in? D'Angelo Russell.
who plays point guard for the Warriors?
I mean, Steph,
But how did the Warriors actually play?
they move the basketball.
That's not his. That's not his game. But he couldn't fit in with Steph handling the ball and Draymond handling the ball that much. He couldn't do it. But neither there's no point guard on the Warriors. Is my point. There's not
But to
none at
me, on
all.
like, but the point is, on the if you're a decent off-ball player, you should find
You
some level of success on the Warriors.
don't think he found any level of success?
No, he was just as inconsistent as he is with the Timberwolves. Bro, in their like last 2 weeks, he's looked like an almost an all-star.
Yeah, yes,
In the 2 weeks before that, he looked like their weak link,
yeah.
just like
He
he
does
did with
that.
the Warriors.
The Warriors were different because I think the Warriors were trying to get something out of him that he wasn't, and it wasn't the off the ball thing for me. It was they wanted him to almost be like a instant scorer, or like a you know three dribbles or less kind of guy that you have to be with him. That right there is not his game. He's not a like, oh, give it to me, I'm just gonna go get a quick bucket. He's not
That's
really a
a
quick
that's a
bucket guy.
discredit to his game. Like he's not that good.
Yeah, no, he's not. I agree with that.
I just he's not a consistent shooter, and with LeBron, you got to fucking handle the kickouts because they're coming fast.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Lakers cry every time one of their shooters goes cold. He either gets benched or they're fucking, or it's like LeBron has a built-in excuse for why they lose.
Don't get me wrong. He's still gonna get crucified on the Lakers sometimes.
But
I don't
that's
think
my
he's gonna be
point.
like he is,
That's my
but
point.
I
He's gonna
think
look bad, and at his worst, he's gonna look horrible.
I think that the other guys the Lakers have are gonna fit him well. I think the Anthony Davis screener role with him is gonna be nice. I think he's gonna have chances to take um that like tippy toe three he likes to take. You know
Yeah,
what I'm talking about?
yeah,
From the top of the key. I think he's
yeah.
gonna have chances to get that off, which is like his go-to shot, his floater. I think he's gonna have a lot of space on this team. I do, even with LeBron out there. I think he's gonna be good. And I think that off the ball, I don't think he has to be as much of a shooter, but he has to be if LeBron gets it to you,
A
make a
good
play.
decision maker,
Yeah, yeah.
and he could be
And
that.
you don't think he's that at all?
No, no. The more I
I think he's a
watch him,
good
to be
enough.
honest with you, the more I watch him, his Brooklyn like playoff run that he took them on
Yeah.
was fluke. It was Boston Isaiah Thomas like level, where I'm not
Austin
disputing that
Isaiah Thomas.
it's not like the stats weren't there, but it's the right situation. The ball's in
Yeah,
your hands all the time, so we get to see what you can do.
I
And bro,
gotcha.
you watch him with the Tim. Honestly, if there's anyone that could have came in and played worse than Russ did last year, it's deloading. Like, bro, all the things you
Oh
described, I
man,
can't see him doing. Taking care, making good decisions. I haven't
I,
seen it on the Timberwolves.
I think so, man. I think the Timberwolves are really bad.
They
I
are,
mean,
and he was a major reason why.
beyond him, other than Edwards, the Timberwolves are really bad. They got guys who would not even be on another team on their team, like playing 25 minutes a night. They wouldn't even
Yeah.
be in the NBA on another if they weren't on the Timberwolves.
Listen, if you're playing point guard and your other guard is Jaden McDaniels, you're gonna take bad shots. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
What, bro? Deloading, like he's not a good decision maker. He dribbles the air out the ball.
but
Maybe he's a,
he won't do that on the Lakers. He won't dribble the air out of the ball. He won't have the opportunity to.
which means he won't be consistent because the only time he's consistent is when the ball's in his hands all the time.
Yeah, all right, we'll see because we got to move on. But I think
Yeah,
Russell's going to be good, and
but
you
to
think he's going to
to
be trash? That's
to
fair.
balance it out, I think either whatever they do with Malik Beasley, I think he's a fire pickup.
He is. He is because
They
he's.
might
I mean,
finesse. They might finesse and throw him out as a starter for a second, and it might work. To be honest,
I think he probably should be their starter.
because
Yeah.
he's just so aggressive and like he's a guy I want LeBron and AD kicking out to.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he'll get him up, he'll put up the open shots, and like Lonnie Walker has gotten so much better, which I love that they kept him by the way. But he's gotten
Hmm.
so much better just like being supremely confident when he's open.
And attacking every time he has
Right.
the opportunity.
And Beasley's
Yeah.
been that guy.
Yep. One thing I like about Beasley too is he moves the ball. Like if
Hmm.
he could have hit 6 threes in a row, but if somebody else is open, he makes that extra pass
Yeah.
like every time. He's a really good team player, and he
Honestly, a
doesn't
lot
have to
of what
be.
you described about deloading, I think Beasley could do at a high level.
I think so too.
Just
I
limited
just think
minutes. He's
Deloading
not.
can do it with able to be a better passer, even if
Yeah,
it
and
is
and
bad
Beasley, I
decisions. He's still a
can't
good
picture
passer.
him playing 35 minutes because at that point you're taking too many shots.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He becomes one of your. He has to be your one of your leading scorers if you're going to play him that much.
Yeah,
What do you think about Conley to the Timberwolves?
I like it.
I like
Settles
it
them
too.
down, gives them a vet. Like that's a lot of times their possessions devolve into just somebody doing some random shit.
Hmm.
And Conley's a guy who will like at least get into a pick and roll, get into a handoff, feed Edwards the ball. And Conley does a good job of if he can't get a good shot, he'll move it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think it's a good fit, man. And they need honestly more vets there.
Yeah, they do. And Conley and Gobert have been, have played well together, so
Yeah.
that should be good. Okay. Let's go to the most active team in the trade deadline, who made the most moves, probably. Um, well, other than Brooklyn, of course. But The Los Angeles Clippers. And
Yes.
let's see, they
Yes.
traded John Wall and Luke Kennard for Eric Gordon and three picks. They traded Reggie Jackson for Mason Plumlee, straight up. They traded two picks to the Nuggets for Bones Highland, which is the craziest pick of the whole deadline, in my opinion. Oh, that's it. I thought they got something else. Maybe not. That's it for now, at least. The buyout market is coming. They're expected to be very active in the buyout market. So they picked up Eric Gordon, Mason Plumlee, and Bones Highland to the Los Angeles Clippers.
Bro, three exact pieces they needed to be complete.
Yeah.
A center so they could stay big when Zubac is in foul trouble.
Yeah.
Another like a guard scorer who's very aggressive, but he could play without the ball.
Yeah.
And the final piece, even though you threw away the already players you had for that point guards, Bones
Mm-hmm.
Highland.
Yeah.
Which Denver with the lob for a fucking championship.
Bones Highland is just basically a younger Reggie Jackson right now.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
they needed, I mean, a lot of rosters need a guy like Bones,
Yeah.
but they desperately needed a creative basketball player that could take the ball out of their duo's hands.
Bones really is the new Lou Will, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
But it's
yeah, you're
just,
right. They did need that.
I mean, with Kawhi and PG back, you see the close games. They're messy. The ball movement dies and the shots become worse. Like this is a
Hmm.
roster that shouldn't struggle to get good shots,
Yeah.
and they often do.
Hmm.
And they're getting so good that they're not even playing well and starting to win more games.
Yeah.
So now, like again, they fixed all the depth issues they had with these three pickups.
They did. Plumlee, I mean, Plumlee has put up great numbers, double double this year, pretty much, pretty close. He's been one of the best backup centers in the league, like since he's been in the league. Like every year, when we talk about backup centers,
100%.
his name comes up in the top five. Bones, for them, I really like because he scores. He scores with so much energy that like his scoring never slows the game down. And I think that that's one problem they've had with their backups and their other scorers. How when he starts scoring, like they start moving in slow motion. When Reggie Jackson starts scoring, no one else gets the ball, or it takes 20 seconds per possession,
Yeah.
or whatever. Bones is like Bones will bring it up court and score with 18 seconds left on the shot clock. And they needed someone like that to get some quicker points because a lot of they just do so much standing around. It's so much waiting
Yes.
around. It's and no one's moving. The ball isn't moving back and forth. They don't get any transition points.
And
So Bones, I think, clears that
you
up.
know what? That didn't happen when Kawhi Leonard was not playing, by the way.
I know. And when they
And
played Wall too, that didn't
that's
happen.
and I know I'm kind of prisoner of that Bucks game. But
Hmm.
bro, like Kawhi is the only one that looks to thrive when they don't move the ball.
Hmm.
Like he's okay. Like he just embraces it. Even nowadays, he won't even shoot the ball well, and he'll just keep going.
Yeah,
Like, bro, when was Kawhi a volume shooter? Like, even when he's cold,
never.
never, bro. Even at his MVP Defensive Player of the Year peak, he was always a super efficient mid range killer of bullying guys, getting transition off the defense. Now he defends less and less. He doesn't. He
Yeah.
moves the ball less and less.
He
And
doesn't
yet,
look
when
for
the team
mismatches anymore either.
he just attacks whoever.
Yeah.
And Paul George is starting to look worse and worse.
Hmm.
So this was
Because
like this deadline, they had to be active.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm so happy that they were.
Eric Gordon is another good pickup. I mean, you lose Kennard and Wall, you get Bones and Eric Gordon. I just feel like, I mean, you get what you needed. You
Exactly.
made what you lost back quickly. Especially since they really weren't playing Wall. When they did play Wall, I felt like I really liked their pace, but they just stopped playing Wall. They stopped playing Kennard basically, or Kennard's um, minutes got restricted so low. It's like, all right, might as well let him go. So
And Kennard
I
is a
like it,
good
man.
pickup for the Grizzlies, by the way.
He is.
They need a little more spacing.
Yeah, they were using a lot of guys to come in for defense, but then they weren't scoring. They're missing a lot of scoring off the bench.
Yeah.
So Kennard, um, did Kennard and Tyus Jones play together?
I'm
I
not
gotta look that
sure.
up.
I don't remember
I
off
gotta
the
look that
top of
up.
my head.
The one and dones. I mean, it's hard to keep track of one and dones, man.
Yeah, the year is tough, especially when some time goes by.
Yeah, because you're like, man, who was on that team for that 1 year they were there? It's hard to remember, but yeah. Either way, I'm sure they'll. I think they'll play well together. Whether they played together before or not, I think them now. I think I like the idea of them together
Yeah.
on the court with the bench. So,
But this is
yep,
like Kawhi and PG, bro. This is like their peak opportunity.
yeah,
Like this is as good
it
as
is.
this team. This team is not getting any better from here.
No, it's not.
This is the absolute like I really can't visualize a better coach. I'm completely good with Ty Lue as the coach.
Mhm.
This is this complete as this roster is gonna get. You guys are healthy. Like, there's no excuse.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we're talking about this duo in a very similar manner that we talked about KD and Kyrie. They're not quite as
and
disappointing and as embarrassing, but they're not that far off.
they're only not this as disappointing as and embarrassing because people let Kawhi get away with everything.
Right.
Like only because Kawhi is quiet. Both those guys are relatively quiet. Paul George says some dumb stuff after games, but he doesn't like you don't hear Paul George talking all the time.
Right.
But Kyrie and KD talk all the time and respond on Twitter and stuff. So they get more press, but in my opinion, like from a basketball standpoint, they're more disappointing to me.
100% together. I'm so with you.
Yeah,
Like it makes me cringe when it's just Paul George and he looks top five easily. And
yeah,
with Kawhi, I'm like it's like the CJ with Dame back in the day. Like he looks invisible out there. Why?
yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. Um, so we're keep an eye on the Clippers. Big moves. Keep an
Yes.
eye on them.
They're a legitimate the praise Phoenix is getting, the Clippers, I think, should be getting.
I agree. I agree. And real quick, let's talk about the loss of Bones from Denver. I
Yeah.
know I said it off mic, and it's kind of a hot take, but them losing Bones is huge to me for their contention.
Bro, you
Uh,
can't when you have a Lou Will bench,
yeah,
you can't give up the Lou Will. Like
yeah.
that's the bench. It's the name of the bench because he's the whole bench.
He is the Islands was the whole bench, and Bruce
Yeah.
Brown, which Bruce Brown is cool, and he may have a good game here and there. But his good game is like 12,
And
15. That's a
and
good
Bruce
game for Bruce
Brown
Brown.
feasts off playing with good players.
He does, yeah, and playing fast and energy. He gets in the lanes. He gets big steals. He's not
Yeah.
like a half court, not really a half court player. Not really.
Yeah.
He's more like a let's get up and down. There's Bruce Brown out of nowhere making a big play. crazy offensive rebound. He knocks four people down and get it. Like that's the kind of stuff he does. It's not like, oh, we're just running the play and Bruce Brown makes a good play. That's not his game.
Yeah.
It's not.
And
So
to me, like this I think puts in the highlight the concern a lot of people have for Denver, like their ability
mhm,
to get stops in transition, their ability to just play defense at a high level for a game.
yeah,
Like and it wasn't a concern to me because watching them all year, they have so many ways of scoring. I mean,
yeah,
like Porter Jr. can play like a Clay. They got Jamal can just go off. Obviously, Jokic is crazy. Aaron Gordon was like their post up slash like inside out threat.
yeah.
And all the bench guys feasted off of that.
Hmm.
But a lot of it was thanks to Bones controlling the pace.
Yeah,
And now that you don't have that with your second unit, like now you do have to get more stops.
yeah,
And now I'm looking at it like I don't know that they can, especially with Phoenix having more firepower, with the Clippers being as complete as possible. The Warriors find a way to have firepower with like four guys.
yeah. And just for reference to what we're talking about, last night their bench got outscored by 39 to Orlando, by the way. Orlando
You're
outscored their
losing
bench
to the
by 39.
Clippers in a series like that.
Yeah.
With Norman Powell eating the way he is, and your
And
guys can't
Bones.
even get good looks. And now, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the Clippers have so many threats off the bench while you're struggling to get good shots.
Or you can't beat the Kings bench like that.
Right.
With Murray, Barnes, and Monk,
No,
you're gonna have a hard night. And
a
Herder,
lot of athleticism.
I
Yeah.
don't even know who comes off the bench for the Kings, but if any two of those guys comes off the bench, you're having a rough night. And if you can't score more than 17 points. And I know Jamal Murray wasn't there last night, but he adds to the starter points. He does, move Bruce Brown to the bench. Again, you add maybe 10 points.
Maximum 12. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't. It's rough if you don't have someone who can get 20 off the bench in today's game. Almost every other team that is like a contender right now has someone who can come off the bench and get 20, and Denver doesn't have that anymore.
Yeah.
Thomas Bryant might be good to come off the bench, but if you play Jokic 40 minutes a night, what's the point of getting a quality center? Like Thomas Bryant isn't a 2 minute stretch big.
No.
I mean, he may give you a good 2 minutes, but it's not worth it if
No,
you're going to lose someone
I'm
like
with you,
Bones.
man. I feel like now there's also more pressure. I'm assuming like a guy gets in foul trouble, you're just playing starters more minutes.
Yeah.
Like you don't have the luxury of overcoming Aaron Gordon being in foul trouble and not being able to guard, KD for the majority of the night.
Hmm.
So I don't understand why. I really for just 2 second round picks,
Yeah.
like were we afraid that Bones was gonna keep getting better and earning a big payday? Like I don't understand the problem.
Neither. I don't either. I mean, I could see that being a problem because they pay. They're starting five. I'd be surprised if there's many other starting fives that like make more money than their starting five. Because most other people pay their bench pretty well. So, but like you said, Christian Brown, LeBron. I mean, he's not. That's your sixth man now.
Like, ew.
Yeah, I mean,
That's bad, bro. It's bad. Like you gotta I told you this, I think, off air. Like you gotta be able to go at least like 8 to 9 deep. And if you're doing that thing where you're just playing starters like Thibodeau minutes,
yeah,
you're more liable to get exposed.
yeah. No, that's why I told you if the Nuggets, I specifically said the Nuggets too. I said if the Nuggets could only go seven deep, they would. For six, they would. I mean, that's just what they
100%.
like to do.
100%.
But now, I mean, like I said, Christian
Bright
Brown is
side
your
to me, bright side is if they do still go to the finals, like Jokic or Murray, I'm assuming will be the main catalyst, and they'll look that much better.
yeah,
And now, like again, the Jokic, like the disrespect that his MVPs are easy or fluky is crazy to me.
it is. Yeah,
So I would like to see them make a run, even though they downgraded at the deadline for no reason at all.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, let's backtrack real quick and let's talk about the Nets. So instead of thinking about what the Nets gave up, let's think about what the Nets got in these trades. So they got Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, um, Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, and I believe that is all. Yeah, because
There's a
they
really
traded
good
Crowder.
starting lineup in there, like in the depths of their rotation.
There is.
I don't know what it is yet. Like there's so many options. I'm not sure who they're gonna go with.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of those guys will be slightly demoted based off of what their role was before.
Yeah,
But I think this will be a fun team.
I do too, man. And I mentioned yesterday, and I tweeted this after I said it to you. The defensive lineup of Ben Simmons, Mikal Bridges, Dorian Finney-Smith, Nick Claxton, and having whoever you want, whether it's Cam Johnson or Royce O'Neal. I mean, that defensive lineup is tough.
I know.
There's a lot of length. It's a lot of guys who can stay in front of guys who contest shots, and then are all pretty well versed offensive players.
Yeah.
Um, and Ben last night, first night without Kyrie and Durant, he looked really energized. The team looked energized. Patty Mills played really good. Joe Harris shot fantastic. Now Cam Thomas is emerging. You still got Seth Curry.
He's emerging fast as hell.
He is. He's having like a Linsanity, Cam
Yeah.
Sanity year.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. And I don't know if they keep Seth. I've been hearing that they were going to buy Seth out, but at the moment you still have Seth Curry, so they got it. They still have a really really good squad.
I know. I would have liked for them to get like Thomas Bryant, for example. That would have been just so awesome. That would have been the final piece to make this roster just pure defense.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, man, to your point, like you maximize Simmons. I think Dinwiddie's gonna eat with these guys.
me too.
Uh, all these wings have gotten better over the years. Like Finney Smith has only gotten better. The Phoenix guys have only gotten better.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
Jacques Vaughn is clearly a good leader, by the way. So
Yeah,
now
and he's coached Dinwiddie before, so that's nice too.
you get rid of the off the court BS now that Ben
Yeah.
Simmons seems to be locked in.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at a play-in contender here.
Me too. Yeah.
Like this is a team that should make a run. What are they, fourth, fifth right now?
I think fifth. I think yeah, something like that.
Whatever. Like to me, Miami, Atlanta should not catch them.
Uh,
Miami probably will.
but yeah, we'll see. They're one ahead of they're 3 games ahead of Miami.
That to me,
Three games
yeah,
ahead of Miami.
I take it back. I think they should keep their lead over Miami.
Okay. They're 5.5 in front of Atlanta. They should keep it from Atlanta. 3.5 from the Knicks.
That'd be tough.
The Knicks over the Heat?
For sure. For sure. What?
We'll see what the Heat bring for the rest of the
But I'm
season. We'll
excited,
see.
man. I think the Nets, the pressure's off. I think they
Yeah,
handled this nonsense really well. Like finally,
yeah.
and I love that they got out of these, they got off these guys and have options moving forward.
Funny thing is, this team is built so perfectly for Ben Simmons. No,
No, no,
I mean like flawlessly. If you said, hey, like if we were drafting in the NBA and you drafted Ben Simmons, like this would be the rest of the team I would expect to want with Ben Simmons. Like
yeah,
obviously I would maybe would want a star, but give me a lockdown defender, give me guys who can hit shots, give me backups who can score off the dribble, and give me a guy who catches lobs and blocks shots. That's I mean that's all you need.
yeah,
Not that I'm not saying it's all you need to win a championship. I'm saying that's all you need to be a good team, competitive team. They're still a really competitive team. Yeah.
yeah.
And a lot of these guys can get scorching hot any night. Patty Mills, Dinwiddie, obviously Joe Harris did last night. Cam Thomas, Cameron
There's a
Johnson.
lot of firepower here, man. If they do that Utah thing of everyone embraces each other and feeds guys when they're feeling it,
Yeah,
again, I think Jacques Vaughn is a great coach for them, and I really don't see them slipping in the standings.
I don't either, man. I'm with you. And they should look at some other big man. I do think that is the missing link to your point. Getting a big man, but everything else, I mean,
I mean, they're
yeah,
honestly, if I'm not healthy going into the playoffs, like Boston isn't at the moment,
yeah.
I'm a little like, "Ooh, maybe I should lose that last game to slip one seed to avoid Brooklyn." I tell you now, I would night and day play Miami over Brooklyn right now.
I agree. I agree.
I'd play any of those lower teams.
Especially if I am a team like Boston who relies on relies on my two scorers to average like 80 points a night.
Yeah,
I mean, you got the best defenders, three out of probably the top 10, probably say four out of the top 10 defenders in the league are on this team.
yeah,
So, and just straight up defenders, not like scorers, like good players and defenders, just straight up, just
yeah.
defenders.
The
So,
problem is
yeah,
the problem is they don't have an answer for Giannis and Embiid, who are two
yeah,
premier players in the conference.
yeah,
So like at that's kind of the limitation to me of their peak playoff run is
yeah.
maybe going toe to toe with those teams, but uh I think that would impress me honestly.
They can outscore Philly, but Bucks have too much firepower, way too
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
But
And they're
Philly, I think they
too
could
they're too
outscore.
inside out. Like the Milwaukee's too
Yeah,
inside dominant.
yeah, and they have something to match all their defenders. Like now they have Crowder, they got Middleton. Like those are guys that you really
But
can't defend
but
against.
to Philly's credit, their rotation is finally starting to look flawless.
It is, it is. Yeah.
And my guy Minivan is he's solid, man. I trashed him for a long time, but he's turned into a rotational player.
Minivan. That's Niang.
Yeah, that's what they call him. Swear to God.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah, you remember I told you worst nickname in the league, which it
I remember
is.
now. I remember now. Yeah, it is the worst
But
nickname in the league.
he's I still don't like him defensively, but he's a really consistent shooter.
Yeah, he's like has one of the highest percentages in the league
Yeah,
now.
and he takes really good shots. Like he's not taking shots in guys' face. So that's part of the
Hmm.
reason like you're gonna shoot the ball well if you're taking good ones.
Yeah, yeah.
I
All
still
right.
don't trust Doc.
Nah, me either. Me either. Let's do some quick hitters with the trades, and then we'll move on from this. Uh, well, since we're talking about Philly, Matisse Thybulle to the Trailblazers in
Yeah, we gotta
exchange for
talk about
Jalen
Portland.
McDaniels.
Portland is not really a quick hitter.
Okay, we can talk Portland. Yeah.
So the
They got Jalen
Thibault was
McDaniels,
one.
brother of Jaden McDaniels. The 76ers do.
Yeah.
And then Speed Mikhailuk, who I think, I don't know if they keep him. No offense to Speed, because I've liked him since
Probably
college.
see him
But
in the summer league.
yeah, yeah. But Portland picked up Matisse Thybulle and Knox. But they traded Gary Payton the second. What else did they do? They did something else, right?
They traded
Oh, they got Cam Reddish. That's
for
right.
Hart.
For Josh Hart. Yeah.
Yes.
You
They
know what
also
really
got
sucks?
Archie Diacono.
You know what really sucks? I saw the video of Brunson excited that they got Hart,
Yeah, yeah. I
but they
did too.
traded Diacono, Archie Diacono for
I
him.
know. His guy, dude.
That's you got to. The team would have been back together, but had to trade Archie Diacono to get him. That's crazy.
I didn't even know.
It's
I'm gonna
crazy.
be honest, I had no idea Diacono was on y'all roster.
I saw him on the bench sometimes during the games. I
I
saw
probably
him. I
saw
saw
him
him
and
down there.
honestly didn't even recognize him.
He said,
I
"I
guarantee you, if
recognize
I
him.
really
Seen him so
spotted
long."
him, I would have immediately hit you up like, yo, he's still in the league?
Yeah, still out there.
I like it.
Jay Wright got like he's tight with the Knicks front office.
Mm.
It's crazy that like five of those guys, but six of those guys are in the league. Murray Spellman isn't in the league anymore, but the dude who hit the shot to win the championship was like the only one not playing.
I know. What's his name?
Chris
Jenkins,
Jenkins, I
right?
think.
Yeah.
Chris Jenkins. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's
tough, man.
DiVincenzo, Arcidiacono, Brunson, Bridges. I'm
All
missing
killing. I
somebody.
mean, Diacono, to me, the fact that he's still in the league means he's clearly doing something right.
He
Uh,
played good for Chicago
he did
when
for
he
a
was
little
there.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
those other guys are all eating, honestly.
they are. Yeah, playing great. And Hart, yeah. Um, so Hart to the Knicks, and Cam Reddish
But
finally traded again to
Thibault
Portland
and
Trailblazers.
Reddish were the two big pickups for the.
Yes,
I
Thibault
like
and
it.
Reddish.
I like it.
I love it.
You get
I
significantly
love it.
more athletic, which is never really a bad thing.
Hmm.
Um, Obviously with Thibault, you get a defender, which I'm a little nervous because defenders come into Portland and forget their job sometimes.
A lot of times.
And I'm worried that all we're gonna see from Thibault is some good cuts and some bricks.
Yeah,
Uh,
he may get some like interception steals, like pick off
right,
some passes,
right. But to
here and there.
me, you need like rotational flexibility when you're a team trying to outscore everyone.
Yeah.
You got to have that luxury of being able to bench a role guy that's not playing well, which a lot of teams
Hmm.
don't have that.
Yeah.
And with Portland, the way they get up and down, the way they shoot the ball, I mean, Reddish has to fit.
I think Reddish is going to fit perfectly. I think Reddish is going to be. I think he's going to be a surprisingly good defender for them. I do.
Yeah.
I
It
mean,
to
when he
me,
was
I
on
mean,
Atlanta, his defense was amazing, and no one gave him any credit for it except for us. It seemed like, but him.
yeah.
I mean, him on Portland is going to be as a shooter. It's going to be great.
God, Sharp and him on the break.
Scary,
And then Jeremy Grant might be trailing. Good Lord.
terrifying. So much length. So
Yeah.
much length.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, to me, this is Reddish's last chance.
Yeah, it is.
Like, this is as free of a play style as you're gonna have.
Yeah, and we've seen guys like Josh Jackson get bounced around chance after chance after chance. Is he one of our best players? Is he our star? And then he just never fit in.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is, Reddish fits in, and for some reason, something just doesn't click. Like Josh Jackson genuinely didn't fit in
No,
to a
no.
lot of
And he didn't
teams.
look good. Like
Right?
Reddish
He
looks
didn't.
good when he plays.
Yeah, he just can't stay on the floor that long. I
I
I
mean,
don't know what it is.
again, I think in with Thibodeau, I give him a pass because he was playing well, and then he was benched, and it was like out of nowhere permanent.
Yeah,
It was like right before the new year, he got benched. I remember he hit the corner winner or the corner shot to send into OT. I think they still lost, but he was playing
yeah.
great at that point. And then like
Hmm.
it's almost like him and Thibodeau had a falling out, and he was just completely out of the rotation.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, like he went like a month without touching the court, and he was healthy.
yeah,
But again, if we get the same thing in Portland of you not really fitting in, like now Atlanta, New York, Portland, you're the common denominator.
yeah. And this time, you know why? There's really no excuse. Now he has probably the best leader he's ever gonna have in the league, and
Yeah.
that's Damian. I mean, someone that even if he has an issue with the coach, I see Damian as that mediator and just figuring it out as a team.
Yeah.
I'm a team guy, all about the team. And if he can emerge here, I'm curious to see who starts at Hart spot. Um, I think that's going to be a big decision for Chauncey. Does he go with Dybul as the token defender, kind of like Andre Roberson role for them? Does he go with Reddish?
You could have said you
Uh,
could have gave him a little more credit, like a Shane Battier or somebody.
he don't shoot as good as Shane Battier.
I
So
give hell pick Keith Bogans or somebody like Roberson, really? Like he's a
Bruce
complete
Bowen, I'll give him.
liability. Okay.
I'll give Bruce Bowen. Does
Okay.
he play the Bruce Bowen role? Um, Cam, does he go with Cam Reddish, who somewhat unproven, but is a much better shooter, can play good enough defense? Um, or does he move it around? Does he bring Grant up to the three? I'm curious to see or does Shaden Sharp start? Who's been like dunking on everybody all season? Who is showing he's super talented, super athletic. Uh, I think Chauncey has a big decision to make there. Big decision. And a
You
lot
know
of
what I
options.
would like to see because I don't know if Portland got that much better for like a playoff run.
Hmm.
Um, but I look around and the Clippers can win games with both Kawhi and PG not playing well. Um,
Hmm.
the Nuggets sometimes destroy teams so bad that like Jokic is done at halftime, essentially.
Yeah.
Bro, for the Blazers to win, Damian has to play 39 and a half minutes minimum. He has to shoot 65% or better. The degree of difficulty on the shots is like as Steph or harder.
Hmm.
And he has to distribute the ball without a high turnover rate.
Hmm.
Like I would like to see Portland win games. Even back in their conference final run with when McCollum was there, you'd see like Dame just had a 2010 and they played well. There's good balance. Guys shot it well. Bro, it's still their wins are like Damian Lillard being incredible all the time.
Or Simon's having like a record
Yeah,
breaking
like
night.
a 7 quarter threes,
Yeah.
7 threes and a quarter. But I just there's no you're going in the playoffs, you're not gonna have versatility.
Right.
And this is why I'm seeing Jeremy Grant taking 5 shots a night. Like he was putting up 30 early in the season.
Yeah. He
And
was.
now he's taking like less than 10 shots all the time.
You know, one problem with them, I think, is they get so addicted to this, like,
Driving
because
kick.
they have guys who can get so hot. It's like, okay, Damien is hit his last six threes. That doesn't like we want him to keep going if he's hot, but that might not win the games, him doing that. You know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, take six more, but maybe Grant could take a couple and maybe Grant can attack on some of these instead. And I think that with Simons and Damian, it's just so easy to fall into, oh, he's hot. Keep feeding him, keep feeding him,
Yeah.
keep feeding him when they're not really playing basketball anymore when that happens.
Hmm.
they're just just feeding the guys and watching them shoot. But they got to
I
keep playing
really
basketball when that happens.
I really just want them to not go to the play-in. I want them to get the last playoff spot where they just actually get in.
Yeah,
Because I think they're a guaranteed fun first round matchup.
they absolutely are.
It's
Yeah,
6-7 with whoever. I don't believe in anyone in the West enough that I think anyone could sweep them.
I agree. Yeah, I don't. Damian by himself, I don't
Right.
think of him as sweepable. I mean,
Right.
I think he's been swept before, but like
It would
I
take
just
an
have more
entire
confidence in him.
roster playing defense on him at a really high level. I think in Memphis it was way back.
Hmm.
Back in like the when they had mostly defensive players on the team. So, you
Yeah,
know, but I can't imagine that happening this year.
right. You remember Austin Rivers had to pray that he missed shots when they
Of
played Nuggets
course.
last time.
We'll see more of that, I'm sure,
Yeah, so.
from someone.
All right, let's get to these quick hitters trades. Just we could just talk about them for a second. Um, Warriors trade James Wiseman. They get Gary Payton the second back. James Wiseman goes to Detroit. Any thoughts?
No big man. Like we don't get a big man at all. We don't even think about. We get rid of the. I mean, I get it. He was a bum. You know, he was there for 2 years. He didn't work on his right hand at all. I'm fine with trading him, but you seriously don't get any depth help?
If I'm trading the number two pick of the draft, I have to get more than Gary Payton. So I have to. Gary Payton
Bro,
the second one even playing good for Portland.
I love Gary Payton.
I do too.
But bro, he does nothing to fix your rotation,
Nothing. I mean,
especially
are
with
you
Steph out.
if you offer me Gary Payton the second and I'm the Warriors, the best you're getting is Ty Jerome for me. Not James White, not the second pick of the draft.
Right.
Even if I wasn't playing him, I'm not giving you someone who's second pick of the draft, even you know, potential wise for Gary Payton the second, who's reached his potential, by the way.
Yeah.
And then they traded the picks. They gave the picks to the Blazers, who end up with 5 second round picks for this trade. And so that's that. Sadiq Bey goes to the Hawks. What do you think about that?
I like it.
I love it.
He's
Get DeAndre
physical and
Hunter off the
aggressive.
courts.
Yeah. He's proven to be better at everything Hunter is supposed to do for them.
And I mean, to me, at all these trades, and I know this sounds crazy, at all these trades, obviously I'm not talking about Durant, Kyrie, I'm not talking about that, but Sadiq Bey is the biggest missed ball in the entire league for this trade deadline to me. Because I just don't know a team that he doesn't immediately make better.
Yeah.
Like it completely missed the ball. If all he costed was, I mean, James Wiseman, who you weren't even playing, and so really nothing.
Right.
I mean, that's crazy. It's crazy. So shout out to the Hawks, man. Sadiq Bey is going to be great for you guys. He's a scoring machine. He's a great defender. He's strong. He's athletic. He's no nonsense. He gets hot. He has great games. I think he's exactly what they needed, actually.
Yeah.
A
I think
nice
it
shot
cleans
in
up
the arm.
really cleans up their rotation and they they have a good potential to become a much more consistent offensive team,
They do.
which they really shouldn't be an inconsistent one, but they are all the time.
Yep. Yep. Another Villanova guy, I believe, right?
Really?
Think.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Villanova. Yeah.
I
Another.
missed I didn't really see him in college at all.
No. Yeah, I don't remember him in college either. DC. DeMatha. Okay. Another quick hitter. Jakob Poeltl. Finally. Back to Toronto. Any thoughts?
I mean, it's a good move for them. They needed a center that's like an actual center.
Yeah.
Uh, but I mean, it doesn't really make them that much better. It makes them like a couple games better, you know.
Listeners, notice he didn't say starting center. He just said center. They didn't need a center that was actual starting center because they still didn't get that in this trade. Just got
No, they
Jakob.
didn't. No, they did
Okay,
not.
moving on. Crowder to Milwaukee. You got any major thoughts about that?
Nah, man, I think Crowder's not as much of an impact player as he used to be.
Hmm.
Uh, and more so because like they got plenty of guys to shoot the ball like he can.
Yeah, it's a weird
Uh,
pickup for Milwaukee.
it's if he's solid defensively, he'll get out there, but
Yeah,
I really don't know if he will be. I'm not convinced. He hasn't played all year.
that's the big issue. That's the first issue.
He didn't look like a good defensive player last time we saw him playing.
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah,
He was
his
one of the
defense
core
was
guys
definitely
getting
odd
lit. When
last year.
Phoenix imploded in front of our eyes, he was out there
Yeah,
getting torched.
he was. I mentioned
That's
earlier
probably why he quit
Crowder.
on them.
That's very true. I mentioned earlier Crowder is one of those guys who does, you know, turn a team into a contender a lot of times. It's not because he's the best player, but it's because every team that wants to contend needs someone like him. But to Mike's point, the Bucks have that already. Like
Bro,
they just
Joe
don't
Ingles is
really,
that. Like he's literally that.
yeah, just not as mean.
Right.
It's really he's a nicer than
He's not as
Crowder.
wide. He's not as like wide or stocky, but strength wise, I really would say they're kind of neck and neck.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
You know, Ingles
Um,
got that random overseas strength.
yeah. Um, Crowder was a nice like replacement for PJ Tucker that they had when they won. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, Crowder's just a better spot up shooter.
Hypothetically. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Less less energy. But I think he could really help. I think my question with Milwaukee is always gonna be like what position everybody plays. So I really don't know what position a single person on Milwaukee plays. I mean literally a single person. I don't know what Drew Holiday really plays. I know he's supposed to be the point guard, but he's really not a point guard, but he plays point guard for them. I don't know what position Giannis plays anymore. Brooke Lopez like leads the team in threes, but he starts at center, so I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
know what position
Milwaukee,
Ingles
like
plays.
Milwaukee's hard to evaluate because they're like sometimes Giannis is so dominant, it doesn't even matter what the other guys do offensively.
Or where they are.
Yeah. Yeah. And I really like Jokic sometimes makes Denver look like this, but it's very rare. And it's like at his absolute best. Giannis sometimes like you just look at the other roster, you could tell they're not going to be able to stop him from doing whatever he wants today. And it's like Connaughton all of a sudden is a rebounder. Drew all of a sudden is like a slasher.
Yeah.
Like I'm not really sure what the fuck Middleton is doing, and yet it's working like flawlessly.
Well, what really made, believe it or not, to me, what made Denver like that is Bruce Brown and Aaron Gordon. Those two
Mm-hmm.
guys, because they're so positionless and they actually do a lot of stuff. Michael Porter Jr. still is just spotting up all the time, but
Putting up 30s.
Milwaukee is like you said, Connaughton is all of a sudden playing power forward. Brooke Lopez is all of a sudden playing the two.
Bro, Brooke Lopez just shoots like a guard. Like he takes guard types of shots.
Yeah, that's
It
what I'm
was
saying. It's like,
so
well,
funny.
it's like, what are we doing out here right now? So with Crowder, I don't really see Crowder as that kind of player that really plays that kind of game. That who knows what position he's at kind of game. I think that was one issue he had in Phoenix. I mean, when visually to me that looks like an issue for him in Phoenix. But we'll see what happens with Milwaukee. But I don't know what position like where he's gonna be out there.
I mean, there's a good chance. Again, there's a good chance Middleton is still kind of working his way back.
Yeah.
There's a good chance he doesn't really get fully back, and there we'll be talking about them in the conference finals.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, to me, they'll be fine regardless. Even if Crowder doesn't really fit, he's a good guy to have in case people get hurt, in case you need like a different spark from somebody. So he'll fit right in regardless.
Yeah, he will. He'll fit him. He'll fit him. The only thing that
Giannis to
changes is his impact.
Giannis has that like elite leader quality of like, there's no nonsense here. We're just
Hmm.
competing.
Yeah, he does. He does. Um, let's see. Josh Richardson to the Pelicans. What do you think about that for Devontae Graham, who we've talked about a lot, not getting any minutes? Uh, we were hoping he would get minutes, but he hasn't. And
Yeah.
Josh Richardson was also worth 4 second-round picks.
How old is Josh Richardson?
Uh,
He's not, bro. He's not 30. There's no way.
he might be 30.
He's
Let's see.
30?
Let's see. Oh, let's see. Josh Richardson is 29. Yeah,
Okay.
he'll be 30 this year.
I don't know how I feel about veteran guard Josh Richardson.
What do you What do you mean? Like
I
he's
mean,
not
like,
like he's reached his peak now?
he doesn't play that much. Like, I don't really consider vets guys who can't really find a consistent role year in and year out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But that's me being petty. I think it's a good pickup, man. They need the depth.
Yeah, the depth is solid, but him as a versatile guard is something they don't have. That's like the one thing they don't have. A lot of the other guys are good, but they're really like small forwards playing shooting guard. But he's a real shooting guard that can play small forward and can play
And
really can't play point, but he could bring the ball up court.
he helps like the last, and a lot of it is guys, their injuries have just killed them. But
Yeah.
their offense gets really stagnant.
Hmm.
And Richardson is like a natural, like, I gotta cut, I gotta move, I gotta do something.
Yeah.
And I think that helps because they already got guys like Herb Jones. A lot of their role guys play better when the ball's moving.
Hmm.
Alvarado's obviously one of those guys. I think
Hmm.
CJ's a more efficient player when everybody's moving the ball, so I think it'll work well.
And CJ McCollum's only 31.
Yeah.
Seems like he's like almost
4-year
done in the league.
college guy too. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see, what else do we have? I think we've covered
Well, there's a
almost
couple.
all of it.
I actually like the Pacers. You talked about the Bucks getting Jay Crowder. I like the Pacers getting Ibaka and Hill.
They dropped Ibaka already,
Hmm. Doesn't
but
surprise me.
they're keeping Hill in Nora. So at least as far as I know. But yeah, they dropped
I
Ibaka.
think
I
Hill's a
liked them
good.
getting Ibaka too at first, but yeah,
Ibaka is pretty much washed up.
yeah, pretty close.
But George Hill's a good vet for Halliburton. And Hill's like a real vet. Like, he's been around a long time. He's played. He's been on deep playoff runs. He's been a high level player for young teams. Like, he's been in so many situations. Like, he's a legitimate vet.
He's played with Hall of Famers.
Right.
He's been
So
he's
many
been to the finals.
coaches. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
he's a. I think he'll only help Halliburton get even better.
I agree. I agree with that for sure. Yeah, that's a solid pickup. Let's
Oh,
see.
you guys getting Josh Hart.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. Yeah.
That might be, bro. And like, we don't really talk about this a lot, but talk
Uh-huh.
about a dream player coach pairing.
Oh
Like
yeah, that's true.
Josh Hart embodies everything that Tom Thibodeau coaches.
I mean, yeah, he does. He
I mean,
does.
he's he's a physical as hell. He's a great defensive player that doesn't get a lot of credit for it. I
Hmm.
mean, offensively, every time I watch him, he's better than I thought.
Hmm.
Like, man, he's not really a couple threes in a row. Like, okay, he could do that. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know if he can really stop a couple cuts in a row. Okay, he could do that. Like, he's a complete player. He's again, Thibodeau is gonna be probably gonna play him huge minutes a lot of nights.
yeah.
I mean, think about it when fucking what's his name? RJ's on some bullshit, which is happens to be more often than
Every other
not.
night. Yeah,
Uh
yeah.
Josh Hart is a perfect sub for him.
He is. Yeah,
And
he
he'll
is.
fit in with their starters, their bench. It's a great pickup, man.
I mean, he already knows how to play with Brunson, so
100%. Easy.
so that's gonna be nice. That'll be really really nice to have him. I'm not sure if it does anything to the win column, but it'll definitely make the game more fluid, make them more fun, and help us get
I
rid of
think
some
it
guys.
it helps. It also helps you guys. I do think maybe I don't know if you guys win more games with him, but there's less of a chance you could slip.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's true.
mean? And he's
Yeah,
so competitive. Like I think he's going to be a major factor in the playoffs, even if you guys don't win whatever series it is.
I do too. He's a big game guy. The bigger the game, the better he
Huge,
plays too.
huge.
Yeah, and I mean we got to buy out Fournier, man. I mean I just don't understand.
He cooked that like the game right before the deadline, didn't he?
Did he? I
It might have
missed
been a
that.
game, maybe a little longer ago, but he went off a little bit.
They probably played him to see if anyone wanted to trade for him.
Yeah.
Because
I
otherwise,
think he could help
they haven't
some
been playing him.
teams.
He would help a team. He would help teams. Like I think the Warriors would be great with Fournier for Fournier.
Yeah.
Fournier would be great for them. Like something like that that just needs some guys that can do what they already do, come off the bench. But other than that, man, I don't know why the Knicks still have him. Shout out to
I don't
Jericho
either.
Sims, by the way. He's taking Shaden Sharp's place in the dunk contest. Um,
Oh, Sharp is
Shaden Sharp
hurt?
backed out of it.
He
No, he just
backed
backed
out of
out.
it?
Yeah, because he saw Kenyon Martin dunking on people. And was like, oh, never mind. Yeah, he backed out. I don't know.
That
I don't know why he
sucks,
backed
bro.
out, but he backed out.
That's so whack.
Yeah.
Oh,
What really sucks is Gordon said if he was an All Star, he would do it. Now he almost has to be one because Zion is hurt and somebody else is hurt. I think
I
another
mean
forward is
Durant.
hurt.
I don't even know the fuck are they about to do with the conferences.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
That's
if
just gonna be
you got traded to the West and now you're hurt, do they replace it with a West or do they replace it with an East?
it's about to be a shit show and people are gonna be pissed.
Yeah, it's gonna be really bad.
Good luck, Adam Silver.
Yeah, yeah. Good luck with that one for sure.
uh
But he might get a chance to be All Star now, and you know it's gonna be too late for him to come in
to be honest with
to
you,
the
off
dunk
the top of
contest.
my head, like I'm very disappointed that Sharp is backed out. But I
Yeah,
can't think of many names better than Jericho Sims to sub in for him.
I know. Jericho Sims just
I
has to
do
go
love
like
it.
kiss the backboard or something crazy.
He's
Like,
bouncy. He's bouncy though, so I'm excited.
yeah, he's tough. He's tough. I like that Shaden Sharp is an in-game dunker anyway. I mean, I like thinking him just as that.
He's a wild lob threat.
He is, man. He reminds me so much of Gerald Green. Like for real. Like every time
Yeah,
I watch him, I'm
yeah.
thinking
He's
that's
just like
exactly
more
what Gerald Green would do.
powerful. Like Green was just as athletic, maybe more, but Sharp is
Yeah.
like more powerful getting to the rim.
Yeah, he seems like he weighs more. Like he
Hmm.
doesn't necessarily look thicker, but he looks more solid. He's more solid than Green was as
Yeah,
at that age, at least. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Cool. All right, we're done with the trades. Um, we obviously have to congratulate LeBron James
The
for
king.
breaking the scoring record. Fantastic, man. I mean, it, it's it's a weird stat. I think it's weird having seen him play all this time for to know that he did that because it's almost like not surprising, you know? It
Yeah.
feels like it's not a big deal to me as a fan because I'm like, yeah, I mean, yeah, you, you know what I'm saying?
No, I know what you mean, but I think
It's still impressive. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not impressive, but it's a heck of an accomplishment. It
it
is.
puts into like an ultimate perspective his longevity, which is by far and away his most impressive attribute.
It is by a long shot.
Like
Yeah.
you hear all these guys talk about like I saw Nick Wright was talking about like what it would take for current players to get to that number. Uh and that like he kind of rounded it up to 42,000, I think, because I mean it ain't like LeBron's retiring after the year.
Yeah. And he's not
You
going to stop
know,
scoring either for the rest of this year.
this man honestly, he shows no signs of slowing down.
Yeah. He'll get 500
Um
more points just this year.
right. So but like I mean Giannis would have to average 30 for like over a decade.
Mhm.
KD would have to average 30 for like 6 full years.
What people miss is how many games LeBron's played in the playoffs. That's the thing. Yeah, you look at it, what they'd have to do in the regular season, but LeBron didn't just do it in the regular season because he went to 10 straight finals, 9 straight finals?
9, I think 9.
Yeah, so it's like
Insane.
that's that's do the math on that. That's
And
at
he was
least 16 games.
carrying every playoff series.
Yeah, yeah. That's like 150, 160 extra games. It's 2 full seasons.
Yeah.
That's if he swept every series. It's
Yeah.
2 more full seasons. So yeah, man, it's huge. It's huge. 'Cause I don't think anyone else is ever going to do that. Go
I don't
10
think
straight
anybody's going to
finals.
touch his record, especially
Yeah,
considering he's going to build it. Same thing with Steph. Like, it's just going to, I mean, well, with Steph, it's different because you could kind of see somebody get on that pace
with
but
threes.
with threes.
No, I don't think so.
But the problem is the same thing as LeBron. It's the longevity. Like,
Yeah,
okay, player so and so, like, let's say you average 9 made threes a game somehow. You're not doing that for 10 years.
no, you're not.
It's the same thing. Like guys average 30 to 35, like Harden did, all Luca probably will. Can you do
Yeah,
it for 15 years? I mean,
right,
I've been begging Luca to get in shape for 3. Harden hasn't been in shape his whole career. These
right.
guys, like, the commitment LeBron has shown to taking care of himself
Hmm.
is just different than the rest of these guys.
Yeah,
For
it,
him
it
to
is.
never be hurt and to never really take for granted like treatment
Hmm.
is just impressive to me.
The only person I think would even have a shot at it is probably Jason Tatum, and that's because he went to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, I
Year
feel like he's been in the
one.
Eastern Conference Finals every year since he's been in the league.
Yeah, year one was the no Kyrie year, right? Or the
One and
Kyrie,
two.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, dunking on
Kyrie.
LeBron, year one. I remember that.
Yeah, and the Smart blocking LeBron at the rim and Terry Rozier going crazy.
Yeah.
That was that year. So like, they had he's been in Eastern Conference Finals I think every year of his career. So he's got a lot of
But
extra points than other people his age. But him doing it for that long, and the reason I say Tatum, I was going to make this point about LeBron. On to your point, is that not only does he have that longevity, there's not many players who have such a mixed game as LeBron does to be able to play like to be able to be productive no matter what the circumstances are.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of guys who can get a lot of dunks. There's a lot of guys who can hit a lot of threes. There's a lot of guys who can get to the mid range. But LeBron is like, no matter what you have, he's still gonna score somewhere. You know,
Yeah.
and they don't have. There's not a lot of guys like that. Either way, it's like trying to think of like the other good scorers right now. Is like you keep Damian off the. You don't let Damian take any jump shots. He's not gonna get 40, 30 with all layups.
Hmm.
LeBron can do that.
Yep.
And LeBron can get 40 and 30 all layups. He can hit 9 threes. It's just that part of LeBron that made LeBron so special. And being able to do that forever is crazy.
I mean, he's still,
Oh,
it's insane to me. I mean, he's been probably the strongest player in the league for 15, 20 years.
yeah.
I mean, in his
Offensively strong.
prime, like you remember guys that used to be considered physical would like bounce off of him.
Hmm.
I mean, all the time, dudes who were like considered bruisers, or the only one that really didn't was Carlos Boozer.
Yeah. Losers.
Everyone else would try to contest him at the rim, and LeBron would like send them flying.
I remember Splitter was supposed to be super strong.
Yeah.
LeBron blocked his shot and then went and dunked on him the other end, like the same play. Like, dang,
Yeah.
LeBron,
Man,
he was supposed to be
LeBron,
pretty strong.
he's just
Yeah,
he's really one of the best players of all time. I mean, to me, he's objectively the second best player ever.
yeah. There's no to me. There's no conversation in him outside of the top three. Zero.
Zero.
Like,
Yeah. I can't
yeah,
talk basketball with you if LeBron's not in your top three.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, yep. And the thing is, you can talk greatness, you can talk best, whatever semantics you want to use. LeBron's top three in any conversation, and that's what makes him so special.
Yeah.
Because you can argue a lot of other people, you can't argue LeBron top three. You can't at this point.
And LeBron, man, to another thing to credit him, man, like he's played all this time and he's like a model basketball player. Like you could teach kids, watching him play. You could teach the game watching him play. He often plays the right way.
Yeah, and even if you're not teaching the kids to be LeBron, you can teach them to be who LeBron helps other players be.
Yeah.
You know, you can say, look,
And
you see how he got to that spot and LeBron found him? That's what you need to do. You know, it's
100%.
not even LeBron, like you said, he plays the game such the right way. Everyone around him is playing the game the right way.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And it also, you mentioned him being the strongest. A lot of times people talk about people being the fastest player. And LeBron, I've seen clips, there's
Good
certain clips of
Lord.
LeBron, yeah, going faster than anyone I've ever seen play basketball. Those
Bro, I,
clips,
I always go back
fast
to
breaks.
'09. '09, you look at his playoff highlights, and he was like a
Yeah,
gazelle against Detroit, taking off. Like nobody was even 2 steps, he's dunking it.
that's the last Cleveland year.
Second to last. When they
Second,
lost
yeah,
to or Dwight's Magic in that
yeah.
crazy series.
The
But
clip I
even
was
in
thinking
that
of in my
series,
mind,
bro, he was bullying Dwight.
he was.
Like he
The-
would send Dwight's shot, and this was like peak defensive player, probably best big man in the league, Dwight.
I think he was defensive player of the year that year.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
LeBron made him look small.
yep, yep.
This is
The
crazy.
clip I was thinking of LeBron running faster than anyone I've ever seen before was against Detroit. It was that year. I'm pretty sure he got like a steal and was just like at the basket before
The
anyone could even like react
instant.
to him stealing it.
Yeah,
He like
bro.
looked and LeBron's laying it up already. I'm like, what?
Bro, the level
It,
to which he made people give up when he would get like a weak side steal
yeah, it
was
was no sense in
insane.
getting back. There was no sense. Yeah,
I mean, him
he's
and him and D Wade,
ridiculous.
honestly, bro, him and D Wade like had their own lob phase, which was just awesome.
Yeah.
The way D
They'll
Wade would
never
just
be anything
throw the
like it again.
ball. Yeah, bro. I really loved watching Miami with them too.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. That I miss that era where lobs were used as such a main play device for
Yeah,
teams.
yeah.
LeBron, Blake Griffin, DeAndre, um, Dwight, uh, JJ Hickson,
Oh yeah.
Kenneth Fareed, guys were in the leagues that were only in the league because they could catch
Catch
lobs.
lobs, bro.
Yeah, yeah. So
I mean,
anyway,
Claxton the league can't stop Claxton all because he catches every lob and he's good at making layups.
yeah, yep, yep, yep. Anyway, shout out to LeBron, man.
Yeah,
It's been a great career. It's still going, but it's been great. If he stopped today, I would be satisfied having seen as much of LeBron as I have. Um, we basically grew up with LeBron as
for
the
sure, for sure.
as one of the best players in the league. So anyway, okay, off NBA. Do you have any other NBA topics?
Uh no, I think that's it. We covered everything. I mean, yeah, All-Star Weekend is going to be a mess, so we'll probably be reacting to all their updates next time.
Yeah, I'm so not excited for also. I've never been
Yeah,
less excited.
I couldn't be, bro. That the celebrity game didn't make me excited at all. I know you messed with some of the people there, but I was like, I don't
I
care.
said I said what I said. I meant what I said. I like the people, but it's gonna be horrible. It may be one of the worst. I'm expecting it to be the worst celebrity game I've ever watched in my life. I'm
I can
serious. I'm
see.
expecting that. But I do like the people. I do want to see them, but it's gonna take a lot out of me just to even turn it on.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna watch it though. I'll watch it just for Janelle. Let's say that. Shout out to Janelle Monáe. I'll watch the celebrity game solely because she's there.
I
If she
like it.
wasn't there, I wouldn't turn it on. I wouldn't turn it on. I like the song, by the way. She made like just for the NBA. I
Mm,
don't know if she made it, but she hasn't like released it yet. But it comes on all the commercials.
hmm
Anyway, that's not important. But anyway, so All-Star Weekend is gonna be whack. Uh, oh, let's talk about this real quick. So John Wall and Russell Westbrook are gonna get bought out. You want to talk about possible teams?
No,
Neither one. You think they're both
no.
going home?
I mean, bro, no. I think there's a chance somebody picks him up, but it's
But it
like it
doesn't
won't
doesn't help.
matter. I mean, again, it's with Wall. Like, if the Clippers didn't see a spot for him, which looked obvious when he was out there,
Hmm.
I mean, Denver could use a backup point guard. Like, I don't understand why Wall isn't a prime candidate.
Yeah.
But there was something there with the Clippers. Maybe it was a coaching issue. Maybe he's not that coachable. Maybe we didn't see something in the film. Like I didn't think he was like a bad defender. I didn't really think he forced bad shots.
Maybe he wasn't as healthy as we thought.
That could be it. That could be it. But I mean, I'm sure
Um,
his conditioning is a problem, but I just
yeah,
don't know.
and I guess
I can't see them helping contenders.
you can't even drop him if he's not healthy. Um, yeah, yeah, I agree because when he was out there with the Clippers, I thought he looked great. I thought he made the Clippers look great. But
Yeah.
something about Ty Lue and playing point guards just he just refuses to do it.
No, it
So
just doesn't want. That's funny. Uh, I'll make you a point. I think that's more interesting is the guys that didn't get moved. Is
okay,
Bogdanovich was one of them, and OG I really thought would get moved.
I really thought someone was going to get OG.
Those were the two guys. I
Bogdanovich,
mean, I can't really
yeah,
think of anybody else, but those two guys I thought could really help a lot of teams.
I thought John Collins' time was up by now. It's been
I
like
also
four
forgot
years
about
they've
him.
been trying to
And
trade him.
they said I saw a bunch of stuff that they were like really trying to find a spot.
I really thought he was going to be gone, but I don't know teams that need a power forward right now. So he was like behind OG and Bogdanovich, but I was like, if Atlanta wants to get rid of him, like now's the time because there's a lot of teams that need to
Yeah.
get rid of guys. But yeah, yeah, OG, I definitely thought, yeah, because he was someone that I thought was going to be instant help for everybody. Similar to like how I said about Sadiq Bey, it's just I just don't really know how he can't make your team better.
Yeah. And OG is like a definitive starter. I mean,
Yeah,
he could go to the Phoenix and start.
yeah, he would be
So
perfect in Phoenix. Yeah.
right. So I just think I wonder if the asking with OG, I feel like the asking price was probably excessive.
Hmm.
Um, but with Bogdanovich, like the fact that Bay got moved, who played so well for them, and
Yeah.
Bogdanovich, who's kind of a more of a veteran player, I feel like was more expendable for a young team like Detroit.
Hmm.
Uh, but I guess we'll see what happens in the summer.
Yeah, and to that point, I think Bogdanovich maybe teams weren't willing to give up somebody young for him, like giving up Wiseman for Bay, in a three-way trade. But getting Wiseman back for Bay is different than getting like getting Wall for
Right.
Bogdanovich or something like that. So
Yeah.
maybe teams aren't willing to give up their young guy for Bogdanovich. But yeah, I feel like there was someone else that was supposed to get traded. I can't think off the top of my head.
I
Some
thought
teams didn't make
Sacramento might
moves
sneak
without
in a
making moves.
move.
Yeah, Sacramento didn't make a move. Cleveland didn't make a move.
I like it
Uh,
though.
Boston, they got Muscala. Uh, but other than that, they didn't really make a move.
I think Cleveland and Sacramento, they need to ride the hot hand, like the
Yeah,
collective hot hand.
yeah, I get that. Yeah.
I mean, it's not that I wouldn't be happy if they made a move. I like that they didn't take a risk, and I feel like any roster adjustment would kind of be a risk for them
Hmm.
because I mean they're both maybe not entirely complete, but they're pretty fucking close.
Yeah. Yeah. They should just look. They probably should just look in the buyout market and just
Yeah, and
drop
only if they
somebody
were
if
like
they want.
really need somebody.
Yeah. 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 All right. It is Super Bowl weekend, so coming up, it's about that time.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Any any last thoughts?
Go Eagles.
Oh
Uh,
man.
get
Uh,
that Super Bowl MVP, Jalen. Throw
yeah.
for 450 yards, Jalen. Let him know. Shoulder is
You know,
great.
that's not happening. He can try. He can
I
try.
just want Jalen to put up Mahomes numbers. That's all I want.
Shout out to Jalen Hurts, man. Good luck. Good luck. Um, I don't really want to talk about the NFL awards. We talked about the Super Bowl last time. I don't really have too much to say about it. Mahomes got MVP. You know,
It's hard to be
that's it.
mad at the best player for winning MVP, even if he didn't completely deserve it, which he did.
Yeah, it's like we really can't say anything about it this
It's
year.
gonna be, bro, it's gonna be the LeBron syndrome the next 10 years with Mahomes.
Oh yeah,
Wow, Josh
I kind
Allen
of
is
thought he.
almost playing as good as Mahomes. Give it to him.
I kind of thought he. That's what was gonna happen this year.
But Allen fell off. Allen was on pace. I mean, Hurts was on pace. He slipped up at the end.
But
I
not
mean,
with
getting
Allen,
hurt.
but more probably Burrow and Hurts. We thought we were gonna be the two.
Yeah, they weren't like explosive all year,
Right.
with Burrow started off slow and Philly finished slow.
Hmm.
Patrick Mahomes didn't really slow down. He had a couple blips, but he didn't really
Hmm.
slow down.
Yeah. Special guy, man. Special guy. Yep. I don't really have anything else. Do you have anything else today?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right, guys. Excited for the Super Bowl. Trade deadline was crazy. Excited for everything after All-Star weekend. Um, Thanks for listening as always. Subscribe, follow us, Instagram, all the good stuff, and we'll see you guys next time.